Hello and welcome to the daily talk show program right here on FreshStart Broadcasting. Today we've got the sports wrap with Jerry the Crippled Shark Neal. The Shark is going to give us a rundown of the first round of the NFL draft for this 2010 football season. So Jerry, I'm going to go ahead and turn the mic over to you and just see what you've got to say about this year's NFL draft. So sports fans, welcome Jerry the Crippled Shark Neal.
Well, as you know, dude, the Rams drafted Sam Bradford number 1. And talk about jubilation in the state of Oklahoma. University of Oklahoma saw their star quarterback from 2008 win the Heisman Trophy and play the national championship, now going on to the St. Louis Rams. I am very excited for Sam. You know, he's got all the skills. Gil Brandt, the player personnel director, ex-player personnel director for the Dallas Cowboys, said that he reminded him of young Troy Aikman. I mean, that's great accolades for a kid that's just fresh out of college. But nonetheless, Sam's 6'4", 236 pounds, and he's got a laser for an arm. I think you're going to see great things out of Sam Bradford. Obviously, St. Louis is going to have to give Sam some protection. That offensive line is really going to dictate to what success level Sam achieves, especially in his first year. But St. Louis has got some weapons, and they've got the opportunity, and they have finally drafted a franchise quarterback. So I'm rooting for Sam. I hope that he shows everybody that the shoulder is healed, that he doesn't have the injury bug, that he is durable, and more importantly, maybe he can just maybe remind people of another quarterback that used to play in St. Louis by the name of Kurt Warner. We'll certainly hold off on giving him any kind of Kurt Warner accolades at this point in time, but for the time being, the Rams have got their quarterback, hopefully of the future, and Sam Bradford is their man. With the second pick, the Detroit Lions, they drafted Ndamukong Suh. That is a hard name to say. Ndamukong Suh. Suh is 6'4". He's 307 pounds. You know, he graded out in the draft at an 8.7 on a scale of 10. Many people thought that he might even be the first player overall drafted. Ndamukong Suh is destined to play in a 3-4 defense. The head coach of Detroit, Jim Schwartz, has decided that he's going to go to a 3-4. Basically what that means is that you need a defensive tackle that can play two-gap. Two-gap means that he takes on the center and the right tackle or the right guard, depending on the offensive scheme. Suh is going to be the type of player that's going to be able to play that two-gap. He's very strong. He could have used a little bit more quickness, but overall, with the Lions' defense ranked 32nd in the NFL last season, any improvement to that defensive line is going to be an improvement. I think you'll find that with Suh on that defensive line, that the Detroit Lions' defense is going to be vastly improved for next season. With the third pick, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selected Gerald McCoy, the defensive tackle out of Oklahoma. Now, the great thing about Gerald McCoy is he plays a three-technique position. What that basically means is that he has a very quick first step, and he plays a disruptive force on that defensive line. Tampa, for many years, has been looking for a player to come in and be the next Warren Sapp. Warren Sapp was always in that two-gap or that three-technique position that allowed him to take his first quick step and to get penetration into the backfield. So even if he didn't sack the quarterback or tackle the running back, he disrupted the play, causing the play or the flow of the play to be disrupted. You're going to see a lot of this from Gerald McCoy, and if Tampa Bay is smart, and I believe they are because they selected Gerald McCoy, you're going to see Tampa Bay utilize Gerald McCoy in a three-technique position more, and that's really going to benefit Tampa's defense. With the fourth pick, the Washington Redskins selected Trent Williams, the offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. You know, the Redskins traded with the Eagles to get Donovan McNabb, so Shanahan's got his quarterback, but now he needed somebody to protect the quarterback, and Trent Williams will do an awesome job at protecting Donovan McNabb's blind side. The Kansas City Chiefs, they could have gone a ton of different directions here. They need help everywhere. But they selected what I believe to be the best strong safety in the entire draft, maybe even the best player overall at this stage in the draft, and that's Eric Berry. Eric Berry was a strong safety out of Tennessee. He's 6 foot tall. He's 211 pounds. He's a very dynamic playmaker. He's got speed. He's just a great combination skills person. I think Kansas City just got probably the best player in the draft at number 5. Now, the Seattle Seahawks, they took Russell Okung. Russell was from Oklahoma State University, offensive tackle. 6'5", 307, very explosive. Last year in over 350 plays, he allowed only 1 sack. So it'll be really good to get that offensive line built back up in Seattle. I think you'll see Russell start immediately. The Cleveland Browns, they took Joe Hayden, the cornerback out of Florida, 5'11", 193. Didn't quite have the combine times as far as the 40-yard dash and some of the things that they look for when they do the combine, but nonetheless had a very dynamic career in Florida, was a shutdown corner. Basically, Joe, and not Tim Tebow, but Joe Hayden was the reason that Oklahoma lost year before last in the national championship. He's very quick, very good reads. Like I said, he doesn't have a good sizzling 40 time, but he is a playmaker, and the Browns got their playmaker in Joe Hayden. With the 8th pick, Al Davis of the Oakland Raiders, he got his franchise linebacker in Rolando McClain. Rolando is from Alabama. He's 6'3", 254 pounds, and he is what they call a stout or a Mike linebacker. He's got exceptional instincts. He gives a much more stronger physical presence inside on the Raiders' defense, and the Raiders haven't really been satisfied with what Kirk Morrison's play of late, so they've decided to add them a linebacker, and I think you'll see this guy probably in the NFL for the next 10 years. The 9th pick, the Buffalo Bills. Again, another team could have gone a million different directions, but they took the fastest, probably the most elusive running back with C.J. Spiller out of Clemson. C.J.'s 5'11", 196, but he runs a sub-4.3 speed. He can do punts, he can do kickoffs, and he's a very explosive running back out of the backfield. Yeah, I know, they've got Marshawn Lynch, and they've got some depth in the backfield at Buffalo. Everybody was wanting him to go with quarterback. Thought Jimmy Clausen would probably go there. The reality of it is, it's just like Adrian Peterson a couple years ago. When the best running back is available to you, it doesn't matter where you're drafting, you take them. Now with the 10th pick, the Jaguars, they surprised a few people. They went with Tyson Alulu, the defensive end out of California, 6'3", 295. The hard-working Alulu is really was a surprise to some that he went this high in the draft. But he was a 4-year starter at California, the University of California, and I think that you'll find that he'll be a mainstay for that Jaguars defense for years to come.
Well, sports fans, you've been listening to the Sports Wrap with Jerry the Crippled Shark Neal right here on Fresh Start Broadcasting. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, and the Shark will pick up with the 11th pick of the first round right after this announcement from one of our sponsors.
We are glad you're enjoying Fresh Start Radio. Please pass the word to your friends, family, coworkers, and church members about us. Fresh Start Radio is a new Christian internet radio station that is part of Fresh Start Fellowship, which has been called to provide hope and encouragement to those who are passing through storms in their lives. Part of the ministry is Fresh Start Radio. If you're a business owner or you know someone who owns a business, we invite you to advertise on Fresh Start Radio. Your church could sponsor one of our upcoming talk shows, or they could provide a daily inspirational message, or just advertise the times of their services and classes. The potential is endless, and by advertising with Fresh Start Radio, you not only get the word out to the world about you, you're also helping us help those in need. If you aren't a business owner, you can still be a sponsor of Fresh Start Radio. Just go to FreshStartFellowship.com's homepage and click the Become a Sponsor link and choose what the Lord is directing you to do. We thank you for your advertising or sponsorship, and we thank you for tuning in to Fresh Start Radio.
Well, that's it this week for our talk show program, The Sports Wrap. So be sure and check back next Wednesday for another Sports Wrap right here on Fresh Start Broadcasting.